The 15th of October 2018 T 12 hours 45 minutes and 6 seconds, 586 C. Leo Varadkar, the Irish PM, has said a Brexit deal could be delayed until December. He said that negotiations are still ongoing but admitted that no one knows for sure when an agreement can be reached. Speaking in Dublin on Monday, Mr. Varadkar said, "We are at a sensitive phase and I know some people were optimistic about an agreement on the withdrawal protocol this week. I have to say I always thought that was unlikely. I figure November or December the best opportunity for a deal." The 15th of October 2018 T 12 hours 10 minutes and 29 seconds. 096 Z. Over the weekend there were expectations that a withdrawal deal would be secured, even that the technical process was agreed, but that it fell apart because it was still politically unacceptable for Number 10. The Independent's political editor, Joe Watts, writes that this morning Downing Street sought to tweak the narrative slightly, blaming the EU's plans for the Irish border as the reason for the breakdown, rather than a general failure to find a solution to a problem everyone has known about for 2 years or more. At the morning briefing, the PM spokesman highlighted unresolved issues relating to the backstop, by which he meant the UK's backstop plan, that after the Brexit transition period, a temporary customs arrangement (TCA) would be put in place if no new trade deal is yet agreed. The UK wants this TCA time-limited, but the EU get nervous about that because they think preparations for the TCA may not be ready, and even if it is, it will not allow enough time for a trade deal if it is time-limited. As a result, they want what is being called the backstop to the backstop, at least Northern Ireland remaining in the customs union until a solution is agreed, to come into play if the TCA fails to materialise or expires whilst no future trade deal has been sealed, and it is this which May says is unacceptable. Her spokesman went on, "We need to be able to look the British people in the eye and say the backstop needs to remain a temporary solution." Brexiteers meanwhile want May to put a hard end date in her proposals for the TCA backstop, which the PM knows would be unacceptable in Brussels. Instead, she appears to have tried in negotiations to suggest other ways of making it temporary without putting in a hard date, as a compromise. What this new round of events shows, is that even this compromise appears to have been unacceptable to Brussels, which is still saying it needs its backstop to the backstop. With several members of the cabinet now said to be on the brink of resigning, it is unclear if the PM can compromise further without her front bench crumbling. Brexit finally appears to have stretched the PM's fudging abilities to its absolute limit. The 15th of October 2018 T 12 hours 5 minutes and 1 second, 623 Z. The 15th of October 2018 T 11 hours 33 minutes and 13 seconds, 660 Z. The 15th of October 2018 T 10 hours 55 minutes and 26 seconds, 436 Z. The 15th of October 2018 T 10 hours 52 minutes and 57 seconds, 820 Z. This is from my colleague, Lizzie Buchan, who is listening in to Nicola Sturgeon's speech this morning on a common-sense approach to Brexit. The 15th of October 2018 T 10 hours 38 minutes and 40 seconds, 696 Z News. Theresa May will make a statement to the House of Commons on the state of the Brexit negotiations at 3:30 p.m. A spokesman for the PM said, "The EU continues to insist on the possibility of a customs border down the Irish Sea. This is something the House of Commons has already rejected and is unacceptable to the Prime Minister." The 15th of October 2018 T 10 hours 16 minutes and 2 seconds, 356 Z. This is from the Cox report into harassment and bullying in Westminster, published just minutes ago. The report says the Commons has a culture of deference, subservience, acquiescence and silence in which bullying and harassment has been able to thrive. Earlier this year the inquiry was instigated by the House of Commons Commission, which delegated the appointment of Dame Laura to oversee the report. Introducing her report, Dame Laura made the following statement: "We are proud to work in the House of Commons, but when we are abused, those who lead us should support us, not abandon us to our fate and cover up the traces, and those who abuse us should be held accountable. Establishing a new complaints and grievance process won't come close to solving the problems in this place. We need a seismic shift, but the institution is worth fighting for. Here's a section from the report. The 15th of October 2018 T 9 hours 56 minutes and 44 seconds, 693 Z. The 15th of October 2018 T 9 hours 40 minutes and 26 seconds, 756 Z. Speculation has been rife about the International Development Secretary Penny Mordaunt's future in the cabinet. She appeared to sidestep questions this morning, urging colleagues to calm down. The 15th of October 2018 T 9 hours 21 minutes and 22 seconds, 293 Z. Ministers should be forced to explain themselves to MPs if policies go wrong, even if they are no longer in office, according to a think tank. The Institute for Government (IFG) has demanded scrutiny be beefed up by allowing Westminster Select Committees to recall MPs for a grilling. The IFG report suggests the architects of policies, such as the hostile environment or failed probation reforms, should be directly held to account to strengthen public faith in institutions. The 15th of October 2018 T 9 hours 6 minutes and 50 seconds, 533 Z. A Brexit deal has not been struck despite intense efforts. In Brussels on Sunday, Michel Barnier has said. Reports claimed at negotiator-level agreement had been reached and Dominic Raab, the UK Brexit secretary, made a snap trip to Belgium to meet with Mr. Barnier. But the EU's chief negotiator later tweeted, "We met day at a mini-Crop UK negotiating team." Despite intense efforts, some key issues are still open, including the backstop for i.e., need to avoid a hard border. Mr. Barnier said he would debrief the 27 remaining EU states and the European Parliament on the state of the negotiations. The 15th of October 2018 T 8 hours 59 minutes and 48 seconds. 056 Z. Also arriving in Brussels, Simon Coveney, the Irish Foreign Minister, said it was frustrating and disappointing that negotiators had disengaged, but insisted that the temporary border backstop wanted by the UK was a non-starter. He said that Dublin and the EU simply wanted Theresa May to follow through with agreements already made in March and December. A backstop can't be time-limited. That is new. It hasn't been there before. Nobody was suggesting in March that a backstop would be time-limited in terms of picking a date in the future as an endpoint for the backstop. The backstop will be there unless and until something else is agreed, but unless you have something to replace it, well then the backstop needs to be there as an insurance mechanism. That is all we are asking for. That's all the Michel Barnier task force is also looking for now in terms of legal text. The 15th of October 2018 T 8 hours 44 minutes and 56 seconds. 076 Z. Jeremy Hunt, the Foreign Secretary, has admitted talks were going through a difficult period but that there was always going to be a moment like this. Arriving in Brussels for a meeting of the EU Foreign Affairs Council, he said a deal was still possible if there was goodwill on all sides, saying, "There are one or two very difficult outstanding issues but I think we can get there, whether we do this week or not." Who knows? Asked about opposition in Westminster to Theresa May's strategy by figures including David Davis, he added, "Everyone in the UK should have confidence that this Prime Minister, Theresa May, will never sign a deal that is not compatible with the letter and spirit of the referendum result, but we also firmly believe that we can find a deal on that basis that works for the European Union and our partners and friends in Europe." The 15th of October 2018 T 8 hours 27 minutes and 33 seconds, 153 Z. David Davis has told Tory MPs they should trigger a leadership contest to topple Theresa May unless she drops her Brexit plan this week, The Independent can reveal. The former Brexit secretary wants the Prime Minister to be presented with an ultimatum that her party will seek to remove her if she refuses to budge before Wednesday's Crunch EU summit. If she stands firm, Tory MPs will immediately trigger a leadership contest by sending in the required 48 letters calling for a vote of confidence in her, he is warning ministers. The 15th of October 2018 T 8 hours 25 minutes and 50 seconds. 016 Z. Britain, France and Germany have issued a joint statement telling Saudi Arabia they were treating the case of the missing journalist Jamal Khashoggi with the utmost seriousness. The foreign ministers of the three countries demanded an investigation into Mr. Khashoggi's disappearance and called for a detailed response from Saudi Arabia. There needs to be a credible investigation to establish the truth about what happened, and, if relevant, to identify those bearing responsibility for the disappearance of Jamal Khashoggi, and ensure that they are held to account, the foreign minister said in the joint statement. We encourage joint Saudi-Turkish efforts in that regard, and expect the Saudi government to provide a complete and detailed response. We have conveyed this message directly to the Saudi authorities. The 15th of October 2018 t 8 hours 24 minutes and 12 seconds, 7:30 z. The UK's departure from the European Union without a deal is probably inevitable, the Democratic Unionist Party's Brexit spokesman has said, given the way in which the EU has behaved and the corner they've put Theresa May into. There is no deal which I can see at present which will command a majority in the House of Commons, the DUP's Sammy Wilson told the Belfast newsletter. Hitting out at the intransigence of the EU's negotiating stance, he added, it is probably inevitable that we will end up with a no-deal scenario. The 15th of October 2018 t 8 hours 14 minutes and 48 seconds, 673 z. The DUP's Brexit spokesman Sammy Wilson has meanwhile expressed pessimism about the situation, saying a no-deal outcome is probably inevitable. The 15th of October 2018 t 8 hours 12 minutes and 32 seconds, 693 z. Brexit Secretary Dominic Raab's best efforts in Brussels over the weekend failed to produce a result despite intense efforts to come to terms, according to the EU's chief negotiator Michel Barnier. The question of a hard border with Northern Ireland was reportedly a particular sticking point.